All right, everybody, we're going to jump into our race rewind here. We're going to throw it back to May of 2023, Mother's Day weekend. This was May 13th from the new Smyrna Speedway. A great battle. Probably one of the best races out of the Ashley Holmes Jacks trucks. And if you've never listened to one of these race rewinds before, I have a couple of them, little bonus episodes I put out on the channel. And we're going to bring that back here for 24. So let's go ahead and get into it here.
Lights are down on the pace truck.
So getting ready to race here with the Ashley Holmes Jacks trucks. A field of 11.
Richard LaVance. I like
so this a little bit down from the truck average from this season.
But she's starting at the back of the field.
But nonetheless, a good turnout. Becca Monopoly, as you heard, having to go to the rear of the field. It is Chuck Ayers and Brian Sukup up on your front row here as the green flag is ready to fly. Richard Griffiths, Richard LaVance in row number 2. Palmer Hagg and Dalton Smith, your top 4. Taylor Watson back in 7th here. Chuck Ayers gets the jump coming off of turn number 2. Ayers in the Ashley Holmes Jacks truck-sponsored ride. He will lead lap number 1. Good gap right now over the 5 of Richard Griffiths. Sukup goes away to the wall off turn number 4. Brings it back down. Good clean start to this one. Sukup started on the outside of the front row. He begins to drop backwards as Taylor Watson begins to work her way forward. Some heavy hitters towards the back with Watson and Becca Monopoly. And we got yellow 4 debris.
We have debris in turn number 4, and Becca Monopoly just clipped it.
And Becca Monopoly, with the caution coming out on the inside of the racetrack, she went low and caught that debris. Air hose or something there down on the racetrack.
Now down on the inside grass, just on the entry of pit road.
And they're going to send Scott Ponder out there. And it's funny when you go back and watch Speedway videos, something that's kind of fascinating. You can hear, because he's up top on the spotter stand, you can often hear chatter from the spotter stand. And sometimes you'll hear, picked up from my microphone, chatter from race control. I think sometimes people like to go back and hear what people are saying. So here we go with the choose. Your leader, Chuck Ayers, goes to the inside on the choose. And at this point of the season, we had started to get this thing figured out. And that's what I'm talking about here in the at the at-track commentary, talking about how the choose cone, the choose zone, a little bit controversial to start the year, but we got things figured out. So it is Chuck Ayers, 21 on the inside for the restart. Second place, Richard Griffiths. Restarts outside, and Chuck Ayers gets the jump on the start. Richard LaVance up to 3rd in that 99 truck. There you hear Chuck takes the lead on the restart. The battle is Richard Griffiths and Rich LaVance for the second spot. LaVance down on the inside, Griffiths up on the outside. A little bit of contact there as Richard LaVance goes through to second. Palmer Hagg wags his tail coming off turn number 4. Top 5 now gets single file. Taylor Watson still stuck deep in the field as she battles with Michael Whipple's 35 for about the 6th position here behind Brian Sukup's 52. Becca Monopoly in the blue 59. Trying to work her way through. Had to start at the back of the field. Most recent winner in the truck division. Had to start out back.
Monopoly going to work to the inside of Michael Whipple. And Richard LaVance starting to close in on the 21 of Chuck Ayers.
There you hear Richard LaVance starting to work his way up through the field. Richard LaVance at this point of the season, and you just heard, making a long haul up here, a couple hours to get to the racetrack. And was looking for that first ever New Smyrna Speedway win. Been around a long time. And was very hungry to get one. And we didn't know. I mean, we saw some speed out of that truck during the World Series. Unfortunately, he crashed that machine. Didn't really get to race there in February, but came back strong here in the regular season. Really nice guy. Always one of those people you can approach in the pit area and just have a chat with. Taylor Watson right now making her way up past the 52 truck. She'll break into the top 5, as you hear there from the commentary, passing Brian Sukup. Sukup up on the high side. Becca Monopoly to try to follow. She's just following Taylor Watson through the pack as we move a little bit further up in the field. Palmer Hagg going after Richard Griffiths for 3rd. Palmer Hagg, who did win Rookie of the Year honors in the Ashley Holmes Jacks trucks in 23, has worked up to the 3rd spot. It is a 2-truck breakaway up front. Chuck Ayers still leading. Richard LaVance in the 2nd spot. Now Palmer Hagg 3rd. little bit further back through the field. Brian Sukup has dropped from the outside pole back to about the 7th position right now, battling with Michael Whipple and Dalton Smith for that spot further back. So it is Chuck Ayers, your leader, by about 3 or 4 truck lengths now over Richard LaVance, number 99. Palmer Hag, a little bit further back in that 3rd spot. Richard Griffiths, 4th, 5th for Taylor Watson, 6th for Becca Monopoly. As those trucks have split from the rest of the field, we've got a 3-truck battle we're watching now. 35 machine for Whipple on the inside of the Sukup 52. 24 Dalton Smith, making a 3-truck battle there. Again, this is the battle for the 7th position, but they have lost touch with the leaders for sure. As you hear, things calm for now, the calm before the storm. But as we watch back at the front of the field, Chuck Ayers with that lead starting to shrink. It's down to about 3 car lengths now. Here comes Richard LaVance. That's red, white, and blue, number 99, starting to make some ground on the white and red, numeral number 21 of Chuck Ayers. Rich LaVance closes big time in turn 3, lead down to a truck length and a half.
10 laps complete, 15.
10 laps complete at this point. Thank you to myself for that bit of information. Easy to lose track when you're watching these races back. Richard Griffiths still holding off Taylor Watson, so we set it up at the top of the show. It was going to be Watson versus LaVance, but you can see halfway through this race, Taylor Watson still back in 5th and going to need something to happen to get back into it. Watson, though, with a good exit off turn number 4. Griffiths gets sideways, and Watson going to make it up to 4th. Again, like I said earlier, Becca Monopoly just kind of following Taylor Watson up through this field. She started out back. The winner's curse, as we like to call it. She won the first regular season race of the year, started out back in this one. Did have a few trucks, some of the slower trucks that waved her by. She really started back in about 8th or so after those trucks waved her by. And she's been able to work up to 5th now. It is Chuck Ayers as we're about halfway through this thing. Chuck Ayers leads, hitting lap traffic. The Kuhn number 2 machine going to go lap down here.
Lapping the 2 of Randy Kuhn as
there you go.
approach the halfway point of this
See, what I say on this is what I said up in the tower all these months ago. Still 2-truck breakaway. Ayers leads. LaVance 2nd. Palmer Hag, the rookie, back in 3rd.
Might need a yellow to get in the mix here.
Richard LaVance slowly reeling in the 21 of Chuck Ayers. And we've seen some good speed out of Chuck Ayers. When he first started racing and brought the Ashley Holmes Jack sponsorship to the division, really wasn't up to speed, but has started to get that truck figured out. However, long run, still got to work on the long run speed. Looked good here in the first half of this one, but now under attack from Richard LaVance in that 99.
It's a 2-truck race with 9 laps remaining.
This point, as you hear there, 9 laps to go.
LaVance trying to get
Richard LaVance trying to make something happen on the Chuck Ayers number 21.
Break into the picture here. Watson's 25 is closing in a hurry.
So Watson in the 25, as you hear, beginning to close.
It could become a 4-truck race if Hag and Watson can get up there.
Hag still in 3rd for now, but Taylor Watson has caught the back of the 55 inside of 10 laps to go. Watson with a run here off turn number 3 to the inside of Palmer Hag for 3rd. She's a good 7-8 truck lengths back from the leaders at this point as they come off turn number 4. So Taylor Watson, young up-and-coming driver, working her way up from the middle of the field. Started, I believe, back in about the 7th spot on this one. Worked up to 3rd. And I believe I just heard 18 laps to go there. Chuck Ayers still leading. He'll lead this lap. LaVance truck length and a half off. There is some traffic ahead. I believe that's the Noah Blake number 12 just ahead of these drivers. Taylor Watson in 3rd, pulling away from Palmer Hag. She's about 6 truck lengths back now as LaVance gets sideways. Chuck Ayers driving away. He's got about 2.5 truck lengths. So really, to set this up as a battle between LaVance and Watson. We'll find out why, but Chuck Ayers really the 3rd truck in this mix showing the way here. And now Palmer Hag starting to struggle in the 55, going to be under attack from Becca Monopoly here for 4th. 5 trucks in the picture here. Top 5 still on the same straightaway. And Watson again reeling these drivers in. She's 4 truck lengths back from Richard LaVance.
Ayers is sideways. LaVance with a run. Lap truck ahead, Noah Blake.
And that is the Noah Blake, number 12. Leaders catching him in the middle of 3 and 4. Ayers gets big sideways here. So does LaVance. Ayers really smoking the tires. And now Blake running the middle of the racetrack. LaVance to the bottom. Slides it sideways. Rich LaVance takes the lead. And here comes Watson. Watson with the momentum off 2. Taylor Watson out of nowhere up into second as Ayers fades. 2 to go. Wow, Taylor Watson caught these guys in a hurry. So here we go. This is the race. 2 laps to go. LaVance on the outside, Watson on the inside. Watson from deep in the field has worked her way up alongside the leader, Richard LaVance.
Watson stays on the quarter panel. Down to the numbers.
They are dead even. Watson powers up with the nose out in front as they slip, slide off turn number 4. White flag. Watson leads by a bumper. They touch going into 1. Smoke pours off the machines and crossover move. Here comes LaVance. They touch again off 2. Watson with the quarter midget experience tried to block that crossover move. Couldn't do it. LaVance still the nose to the inside. Watson slides sideways. Gathers it back up, and LaVance hits the gas and wins the drag race to the line. Richard LaVance with his first win. Taylor Watson second.
My goodness, what a race.
Phenomenal. Absolutely. See, I thought that a caution came out about halfway through that race to set up that fantastic duel. But that was just good, old-fashioned, pure American stock car or stock truck racing in this case. The fans did like that. If I had the microphone on the other speaker, you'd hear it. But here he comes. Richard LaVance finally gets it done here at New Smyrna Speedway in one of the best natural battles you'll ever see.
You did it, man. Come on over here.
And we'll hear from Richard here during the interview.
Celebrate, man. One of the nice guys down there in the pits, Richard. Phenomenal job tonight. You won the heat, and you were able to hold off a hard-charging Taylor Watson. What were those last couple of laps like?
It was crazy. I was running with the 21, and I'm running, and all of a sudden I see pink in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, we got to go. We're either going or we're getting run over. So I got around the 21. He was getting loose. I got around him, and she was coming.
Well, you worked so hard to get this truck back together. You had it going pretty good in February, and you found the concrete. You built it back, and, man, she was fast tonight. How does it feel to be a winner out here?
It feels tremendous. I've literally been coming here since I was 11 years old, and now I'm going to have a trophy from here.
Man, all the hard work, and you guys come from a long way to get here, making the commitment to drive up here. And
4.5 hours every Saturday. I got to thank my wife, Jordan, who's been here forever with me, my daughter Amber, and my newest crew member, Doug. Without those guys, I wouldn't be here.
Well, why don't you get them over here and go celebrate? Richard, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard LaVance from 4 hours away gets it done tonight at New Smyrna. Let him hear it.
Awesome race, awesome job. And here's Taylor Watson with perhaps the line of the year.
I'm telling you, you came from way back with 5 to go to get up there and battle. Had the lead at the white, but that just looked like good hard racing, and heck of a drive for you, young lady.
Yeah, thank you. That was super exciting. With about 1 to go, I started to get a little nauseous and actually threw up in my helmet. I don't know if I'm a little bit of nerves or just being so hot, but it was definitely an exciting race. Wish we had a couple more laps and more, cleanly battle it out, but still really happy with this truck that we brought. And thank you to Daniel with Right Foot Down. He's out racing a wheelman race. But I mean, he always has those cars dialed in, and same thing with my dad. Without him, wouldn't be here. And thank you to all my friends and family for coming, and Nick Cashman and his father for helping us, because today it was just me and my dad working on that car. So yeah, super happy with how we finished in this 25 truck, and excited to get back here in a few weeks, get faster, and hopefully get one spot closer to a win.
Well, when you are here, I know you're racing part-time this year, but when you're here, they're going to have to look out for you. Is there anybody else you need to thank?
Yeah, like I said, Daniel Webster, my father, all of my fans and all my friends and family who support me throughout this journey. And really, it's everybody in my life who has made racing come true for me. And yeah, I hope for that to happen when I show up. That's the goal.
I think it will be. You put on a show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ryan.
Taylor Watson brings it home with a solid second.
There you go, a gracious interview for our second place finisher there, Taylor Watson.
Talked to the man that looked like he was going to get the win tonight, but he's got the old 21.
And Chuck Ayers able to hang on for that third spot, kind of lost in the shuffle there, but led a lot of races and did well.
Helping getting some of these trucks to make the long haul out here, and looked like the truck just got a little loose with you at the end.
Yeah, it did. I should have went on the outside of that lap car instead of trying to go on the inside and let it get away from me a little bit. But everything's fine. We had a good race. It was a great race for the last several laps.
Yeah, and it was fun to watch. And you've got this truck running good. He had a good run up at Citrus a couple of weeks ago, and much better result tonight than last time you were out here.
Oh, yeah. It took about 2 weeks to fix it, but we were excited to come back and run. And we appreciate you guys coming. Tell all your friends, come see it, see the racing. That's what it's all about.
Chuck, thank you for being here, and thanks for everything you do for this class. Chuck Ayers and the Ashley Holmes Jacks 21 brings it home.
Chuck with a great run, and again, we got to thank him. He's really helped rejuvenate this truck division here at New Smyrna, and what a heck of a race. It was pretty fun, so I hope you guys liked this little look back at, in my opinion, probably the best Ashley Holmes Jacks truck race of the season, one of the best races of the year. Of course, I did give it one of our awards, a couple of awards this race got on the award show last week. If you didn't hear that, go back and listen to that. Taylor Watson, obviously with the line of the year, the Drop the Mic award with the threw up in my helmet bit there, and just a great race. So, yeah, man, that's a lot of fun. Looking forward to the trucks again this year. I know Richard, man, he got his wins, he got his championships, and unfortunately, truck has been sold. So we'll see what they have up their sleeves for 2023. I think they're going to do a little bit of everything around the state here this year. So I'm sure we'll catch up with Richard a little bit later on. But cool to see him get his first win, and just cool to see a great race like that. So again, that was our Ashley Holmes Jacks truck race from the Mother's Day extravaganza weekend back in May. And coming up in the next couple of weeks, we'll do this on a bonus segment, a bonus show, if you will, with the Orange Blossom 100. We'll take a look back at that race in its entirety and see what went down with that.
Go to patreon.com/Speedway Video now